at the top of the hour. So I want to go ahead and officially welcome everybody to our January 16th, 2001 online. I literally had to look at the date because I keep losing track of the date. But to welcome everybody, we are so super excited to have Jennifer Darling here with us. But I'm not going to introduce her or get started on that. I just wanted to welcome everybody to our professional development workshop. We kind of ran around with some thumbs up about our preference versus face-to-face or online, about 50-50, but either way, excited to see everybody, and I'm sure we're all excited to see each other. This is our first meeting of the 2021, but we're in the middle of our membership years because our membership cycle goes through the end of June. And so as a result, I don't have to reintroduce our board, but I do want to acknowledge our board because without them, none of this would happen. So if you're a board member, give a big wave in your window. There you go. There's Kim, we've got Karen, we've got Ed, we've got Jill, we've got Rob, Mike Lejeune, and Jackie, who's kind of waving. She's waving behind her. There we go. She gave a wave, right? So those are our incredible board members that work daily to support our membership. NSA Houston is a volunteer-run organization, and so they give of themselves and give of their time in the spirit of Cavett Robbins, the NSA founder. So we continue that spirit on through our board leadership. And with that, we make room, of course, for everybody to come and just creating a welcoming environment. So I want to welcome our guests who are joining us today. If you're a guest, give us a wave in your screen so we can acknowledge you. Let's see, who do we have that's a guest? Well, Jennifer, right? And I know we had a couple that were registered. Tamara, we've got her waving there. We saw a couple of on our registration that'll probably be joining in. And so our guests you can be a guest for as long as you want, but we certainly encourage your membership because membership not only supports the chapter, but it opens up a wealth of opportunities for your business growth. And that because that's what we're all here for. We're all great friends. We love hanging out. That's one of the beauties of NSA versus other professional associations, I got to tell you. But we're here to grow our businesses. And our theme this year is adapting together. And so many of us have been doing that, adapting our businesses to this virtual model and some hybrid and things like that. So we're here to support one another. So we've got, I acknowledged our guests. I want to acknowledge our professional members. These are people in our chapter that are speakers and they are making a living speaking. They're currently drawing an income from speaking. So if you're a professional member, wave your hands in our window so we can see you, all right, and acknowledge you. Awesome. So for those of you who are newer to our chapter and you're aspiring speakers, I want you to be intentional about reaching out to some of the people that just raised their hands. NSA Houston is here to support one another, but very often that support is initiated by those who need the support. So please, I hope you made a mental note about who we see actively working in the speaking business, and they're here to support you. We all are. That's why we're here as professional members as well. And then within NSA, because it is a professional development society or association, we have the ability to get credentialed, and so the CSP designation is one of the highest honors that you can get within the speaking industry, and it requires certain amount of income as well as a peer review. So speaking in front of speakers and making sure that speakers love that. And so that gives them the Certified Speaking Professional designation. That is a designation by the National Speakers Association. So will our CSPs on the call give us a wave? And that wasn't because I have it. I was just modeling it. All right, we've got Karen, Amy, Ann on the line, and I believe Ed. And I missed you, Ed, right? So thank you for our CSP. So again, for our professional members and all of our aspiring members, look around and know who can help support you as you continue your growth and development. And then finally within NSA, we have the CPAE, which is the Speaker Hall of Fame. And I don't think we have any Speaker Hall of Fame members on our call today, but I wanted to acknowledge that such a designation exists within NSA, and it's another way to honor our speakers that have contributed and given so much to the profession. So that's just a little bit of kind of who we are. So if you're new to NSA, I encourage you again to reach out, to get active in our Facebook group and find ways to connect. And I'm just excited about what Jennifer is going to share. I've actually been in one of her online classes before, and it helped me make some great adjustments to my LinkedIn profile. And so it's really, really helpful. So you guys get ready, pull out your notepads, and get ready to take some great notes. But I'm going to pass it over to Kim Davis, our VP of Programs, who is going to be our MC for the rest of our programming today. So thank you, Kim, and I'm going to pass it over to you.
All right, thank you, Alana. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy January. Happy 2021. We're super excited that you are starting your morning off with us. I think you're going to be excited, too, about what we do today, what we learn, because you're going to learn stuff to help you on LinkedIn, but it's going to take you even beyond that. So before we get started, my handy partner, Karen McCullough, and I we want these workshops to be informative, but we want them to be fun. So one of the things that Jennifer is going to talk to you about is your headline. So we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. We're going to break you into groups. I'm going to create I'm not a host, so I can't create the groups. I just thought about it. Kelsey, can you make me a co-host? Or you can set up the breakout rooms. I'm sorry. But what you're going to do is in your room, don't tell anybody your name. I mean, your name is there, but all we want
Alana, can you make her a host?
Okay, all we want you to do, thank you so much. All we want you to do is say, if they were talking about you in the newspaper, on the front page of whatever city you're in, what would the headline be? So think about that, and we want you to share that in your group when we go into these. Here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do 3-4 rooms, and we're gonna give you about 3 or 4 minutes, and then we're gonna come back. So the assignment is, what would your headline say on the front page of the newspaper? And hopefully it's not anything criminal.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hey, hey.
Asia. Hey, Alana. Hey, Mike. Hey, our team.
Hey.
Our team. Love it. Hey, Michael.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are
How's
you?
everybody doing?
All right, good. Glad to see you. And I would see you in the masterminds, and I hadn't been in there for a while. So I hope you're doing awesome.
Yeah. Hey, that's whatever you just did. Sharpened up your image there, Mike.
Yeah, I've got a little pointer that here's the camera, so I have to touch it to refocus the camera. I'm just getting in. I'm a little late this morning. Sorry.
Hey, we just started.
It was perfect timing. All you missed was the hey, welcome to the room.
Yeah. I just heard something about a headline.
Yep. So we are going to introduce ourselves by sharing our headline, what it would look like on the front of the news. But if you think in the context of LinkedIn, that's kind of what we want that LinkedIn headline to be. So who would like to go first? All right, Rob, let's hear yours. And I'm going to look on the newspaper. I'm going to pretend.
Psychologist helps leaders balance authority and collaboration.
Cool. Sounds like you already thought about it.
Well, since we started talking about the phrasing, I've used for, many years now. Balance, authority, and collaboration. That's my thing.
Cool. My headline on the front of the paper would be, Elena Hill helped executives and entrepreneurs lead change in their lives and in their organizations. And then they'd have to tune in for more, I guess. Next. I know our time's limited.
Mine's leadership development, engagement, and retention specialist.
That's your headline? I don't know that I want to read that article.
I know, but I know where she's going with it or whatever. The headline algorithm has to have key words that, I don't know, I won't get ahead of her, but.
All right, Amy,
How
what about you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Just a revolutionary program to help people retire to vitality.
Oh, I would rather retire to more money. But I love the opening. Really got my attention.
Yeah.
And I guess mine would be, Asia Vickers Global Media helps the world gain more clients and build
Nice.
sales and increase sales. Something like that.
Through.
Oh, through, I don't want to just say, through digital marketing. Let's say that.
Oh, that's better. We're much broader.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to know more about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and you're right, Mike. I mean, it's not even getting ahead of her. It's kind of applying the activity. That's a good point. You want those keywords, and so I think everybody, yay, check. I'm not the moderator for this particular group, but I did like hearing those. But I love too how Michael added that that attention-grabbing word that, while you want the algorithm, but you also have to appeal to people's eyes, and you think about that newspaper headline. So
Yeah, there's so
that gives
many.
you some food for thought.
There's so many layers that you have to think about. That it's got to be like a headline, so it makes people want to read the article.
Yeah.
It's got to represent something, ideally some uniqueness. I think it's got to have some energy and action in it. So we all got pieces of those pies in what we did. How to tick off each one of them and make sure you get that. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get better by the end of today.
Yep.
Well, cool.
I need more sex in mine.
There we go.
Yeah, maybe Jennifer will help you with that. Yeah, let's make yours sexy. Well, it was fun chatting with you guys. I'll see you guys back.
Oh yeah, we got to go back.
Let's go. Let's go.
We saw.
Kim.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Let me see who's left. Come on back.
Hey Amy. Hey Amy.
Hello.
Hello, Amy. Two Amy's.
That was
Yes.
so much fun. It was so creative, so early in the morning.
Good point.
So when everybody gets back, as you're all coming back, so we're gonna have one person from each room tell us the coolest headline.
Well, I have a better way of doing that, Kim.
Okay.
Not that isn't a good one, but type in the chat
Yeah.
the name of a person who you feel had a great headline. Type in the chat. Or just tell us. Someone just yell out a person's name, maybe from your group, that you felt had a good headline.
Michael Winters.
Michael
Winners
Winters.
in our group.
All right, let's hear Michael Winter. You're a winner.
Okay, here's mine. Revolutionary program to help people retire to vitality.
Ooh.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, Amy, you have to share the one you came up for Tamara. Come on, it's so good.
Well, you have to know Tamara. So she's a longtime leadership, expert and does leadership work, but she also has a wine-related business. So we were thinking, stop whining and start leading.
Oh,
It's more of a book title than an article title. I don't know.
No, I think it's brilliant. I love it.
It's great.
do we have time for another one?
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to either volunteer or you volunteer someone?
I want to volunteer Ed because we gave him a hard time about his because we said it was an advertisement, not a headline. So Ed, tell us where you are.
We can't hear you.
Weird.
Can't hear you.
You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. But your mute is not on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're gone.
Pass.
So Alice, will you
Yes.
tell us? Because
Yeah.
it's I think his audio is funny.
What he started with is the storm is coming, but the rainmaker is on the way, or something like that. It's the rainmaker.
That is good.
Ooh, I like
All right.
it.
See,
Thank
no,
you,
Ed got
everybody,
quiet.
for participating. We want to keep moving because we got a lot to get to today, but we wanted to kind of just get you started. This is supposed to be fun and informative. It's not a lecture. We want you to participate. I'm going to let Jennifer run it the way she does, but before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jennifer. So we always, of course, ask people to they send in information like their bios. And so because because I do, bug them to send these things, I want to at least tell you a little bit about it. So she is a revenue generating machine and an in-demand speaker. She's been crushing sales goals for more than 20 years. So Jennifer's my media sister. We were on different sides of of TV stations, but she's been on the sales side for a lot of media giants like Comcast, NBC, and Fox. And then she started building her own successful business and professional speaker career. She's an entrepreneur, and she's created a lot of cool stuff. What I can tell you is I've taken her training before, and I feel like I should go back and take it again, or look at the recordings, because I know I'm not doing all the things she told me, but the stuff that I took away was really helpful. So I was super excited when she said she could join us and present to NSA Houston. So welcome to Jennifer Darling, all the way from Redding, California, which means it's really early out there. We appreciate her getting up, and I'm going to get out of the way and turn it over to Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, everybody. So just a couple of heads up here. The sun is still coming up. Actually, the sun is starting to come up. So you'll see some changes in my lighting here pretty soon, because I like the natural lighting so much better on my skin. But right now I got all kinds of other things going on, including I can see myself in my glasses. I don't know if anyone else has that problem. The second thing is my dogs are still in bed. And that means at any time you might see a big black fluffy tail with a white spot, looks like Pepe Le Pew. That's my 130-pound lap dog, Bernese Mountain Dog, Roxy. And so she might just come through and say hello. But I heard it was a pretty casual group. So you're all good with that, right? Okay, perfect. All right, so first things first is, if you haven't already, put your LinkedIn URL in the chat room, because I think every virtual meeting, no matter if it's an NSA meeting or some other networking meeting, or maybe you're speaking with clients, is that we should be networking, and we should be sharing with other people that they should be networking and get to know each other. You will see, if you've never connected with me before, you will see after our connection today, if we're new connections, you'll start to see some information in your news feed that I post. And it's one of the great ways that you can continue to build top of mind awareness with new people who are in your network, is by posting really relevant information after you have a talk, is to post something about that topic that you spoke about, because the same audience that was there is going to engage with the information that you just posted about. When they engage, LinkedIn says, well, Susan loves Jennifer's stuff. Let's share more with her. And then we share more valuable information. Susan sees more of it, and we start to build a top of mind awareness campaign without working that hard. So one of the things is we want to connect as many people as we can. So thank you for putting your URLs in here, and thank you for making them, hyperlinked. Great job, everyone. And make sure you connect with the people that are here in the group today if you're not already connected. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to have the first part of today is going to be a training program. Ask me any questions you want, but put them in the chat room, because we're going to do a live Q&A at the end. So the second part of our training is going to be, I'm going to give you some technical secrets to using LinkedIn, and these are proprietary secrets. So we're not going to be recording the second half of this program. Well, a small portion of it, because these are top secret things, and I requested that we didn't record so you can all learn these things, but it doesn't get out into the universe. So make sure you show up at the second half, because you're going to get that. And then I'm going to do a mini profile assessment. So I'm going to pick one person out of this beautiful crowd, and we're going to go look at your profile, and I'm going to give you some specific feedback on your profile. And then the last part is we're going to do some live Q&A, so you'll get all of your questions answered. So if you have a question during my training time, then please either put it in the chat room or just write it down, and we'll ask you to come on live later. So everybody cool with that? Awesome. Okay. And if I talk too fast, because I'm known to do that, then what I want you to do is just private message me. Hey, could you slow down a tab? Don't put it out there in public, because you might embarrass me. Just say, slow down a tad, and then I will remember to breathe in the next hour. All right, so here we go. I've been known not to breathe. All right, so we're going to go to this first part of the presentation here. Awesome. So we're talking about LinkedIn, but let's just get real here. We're talking about how you can get more customers, because that's what you really want to know. Like, you're not going to go spend all this time in LinkedIn for no reason. You want some high-paying leads. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share with you 3 challenges that people are having in getting high-paying leads on LinkedIn. And I'm going to give you my strategies for how you can overcome those challenges and how you can get more high-paying leads using LinkedIn. So first, what's so great about LinkedIn? Well, it used to be, and it still is, an excellent resource and one of the top resources for job searchers. But now LinkedIn is more than that. It is now the Google for business professionals. It was purchased by Microsoft, and I think it was 2016, so only 4 years ago, for $26 billion. And they are investing a lot of time into this platform to make it a platform for business professionals. And what's happening is now if you want to do business with somebody, you're going to check them out on LinkedIn. You're either going to Google search them and get their LinkedIn profile, or you're going to go right straight to LinkedIn and look them up and see, are they legit? Are they the person that they're claiming to be? And for that reason alone, you want to make sure you have a phenomenal LinkedIn profile, because you just never know who's going to be visiting your profile at any time, and you want to give that best first impression you possibly can. The second reason is that LinkedIn is a high income place. This is where people who are highly educated, they're high income earners, they're CEOs, C-suite executives, decision makers, influencers. Those are the people that are on LinkedIn. Now, they may be hanging out on some other social media platforms, but it's more sparse. Like the Facebook or Instagram, they're more like mass social media platforms reaching everybody, but LinkedIn is concentrated, and it's concentrated members to business professionals. Those business professionals are very engaged in business conversations. Some social media platforms outlaw business conversations. That's not what they're for. Right? They are for social conversations, but LinkedIn is for business conversations. So it's awesome to be there because we can talk about business without feeling like we're promoting all the time. The next thing is that you can establish yourself as an expert resource or trusted advisor, and it does not matter who you are or what stage of your business you're in. If you're here and you're a brand new speaker, an emerging speaker, you can establish yourself just as much as a CSP who's not on LinkedIn. Right? You have that opportunity to grow your brand right here along with everyone else. I have had my speaking business. I just ended my 3rd year, going into my 4th year. But using the strategies I use on LinkedIn, I quickly established myself as a professional speaker in about the first year or 2 of my business. So it does not matter where you are able to build the status for yourself using LinkedIn if you do the right things. And some of these things I'm going to share with you today. Also, you can increase your visibility with prospects who have money to invest. Right? It's not like one time I bought a post on Facebook, and my post was, my target market was people who were business owners. Well, the challenge was a lot of people who were sitting home, they considered themselves business owners. You know, they're sitting home on the couch watching Jerry Springer. They're not really business owners, but because they consider themselves business owners, that's who my ads were going to. Now, that's a waste of my money. LinkedIn has people who are money to invest. You're not going to get people sitting at home watching Jerry Springer, if that's even on TV anymore. I don't know. I don't watch TV. But these people have money to invest. You're also going to build that know, like, and trust trifecta with decision makers. You're going to find people who aren't anywhere else. They're on LinkedIn because they're there for their business. So you're able to build, everybody knows the know, like, trust factor of business. And you can build that here with decision makers and influencers by doing some of the strategies that I'm going to teach you in part 2 strategy today. You can also attract a steady flow of incoming leads. No joke. I received 7 referrals in the last week. That's 7 incoming leads, people who referred other people to me. And it's because I'm staying top of mind with my referral partners in LinkedIn. So they remember me when comes time to refer somebody to get some consulting or training for their business. So you can attract a steady flow of incoming leads, and it's one of my favorite things about LinkedIn. So let's take a look here about how to increase your leads on LinkedIn. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn profile. I just recently changed my banner to this attract new clients, close more leads. And we're going to talk about banners and getting people's attention here in just a moment. So the first challenge that I see so many people have is that you need more leads to make your sales goals. Anybody here need more leads to make their sales goals? You know this? Yeah. I mean, even when I was in professional corporate sales, when I was making my budgets, I still wanted to make more money. So I still needed more leads, right? So you need more leads, but you don't have enough. And maybe your business has changed, right? I shouldn't say maybe. I know all your businesses have changed in the last year. January this year and January last year are 2 very different things. Some of you maybe have been getting referrals and those dried up. Some of you may have just been going gangbusters because your marketing was so awesome. Your website was fantastic. Maybe you have a speaker bureau, whatever it is. But now those leads have dried up and you're sitting on, an empty sales pipeline. And we want to get that filled up. This was my January 2020. This was me speaking at a large conference in San Francisco. It was amazing. I was on fire. It was so awesome. 2020 was going to be my best year ever in paid professional speaking. I had the most speaking engagements booked. Anybody else feeling me like you have the same thing in January? Yeah, and then March came. And they were all gone. Every one of them gone. So I laid in bed for about a week, depressed. What in the world am I going to do? And then I decided to get up and give away some free LinkedIn training because it was the only thing I could really think of that I could do to be an effective contributor to the business community or the world instead of staying in bed. And so that's what happened. Like the bottom was swept off. But what I did was I decided that I wasn't going to let that control my life. And I found a need that was in the market, which was still helping people with LinkedIn. And thankfully, through the programs I did, I still grew my business. I actually had my best year ever in my business in 2020. Shockingly, because I woke up one morning and it was all gone. And then I built it back up very quickly. And so the things I'm teaching you today are part of the success formula in helping me build my business back up pretty quickly. Like after I woke up from that sleeping depressive nap, I built my revenue back in about 30 days. And so if you're still not where you want to be, then you can use some of the things you're learning from me today to help you build your revenue back up pretty quickly. Because LinkedIn, there's so much activity on it right now because we're all working from home. And so there's more and more activity here. So the first strategy for you is I want you to make more of your own opportunities. Create more of your own opportunities with a wide and deep network. And I'm going to explain to you exactly what those things mean because you want both. And I get the question all the time about building your connections. And maybe some of you are even thinking about that right now. And we'll talk about that because it comes in the wide definition. We want more people to know about you. The more people who know about you, the more opportunities there are for people to hire you. Now, I don't know how many of you have diversified your businesses. If you have, put it in the chat room. And what I mean by that, for those of you who don't know, is maybe you've been a keynote speaker your whole life. And good for you. But those opportunities have lessened. I think we can all agree on that. So have you diversified your business to add in training or consulting or coaching? So if you've diversified, just put yes. And if you haven't, go to the winter conference, right, Alana? Because you'll learn about diversifying your business at the winter conference. But what we want is for more eyeballs to see you. So, I sold television advertising. People who were the most successful purchased the most eyeballs in their advertising campaigns, the most impressions. You can have up to 30,000 connections in LinkedIn. Now, Facebook, you can have 5,000 connections. So You can have way, way more people in your network in LinkedIn, and they're going to be business professionals in that network in LinkedIn, either prospects or referral partners. You would agree, I think, that 200 people versus 20,000 connections will give you a much bigger visibility, a much bigger scope, a much bigger audience. So what happens sometimes is people say, Jennifer, I don't know about adding all these connections. I want to keep myself private. Well, keep yourself private in Facebook, because you're talking about your family and your dogs and whatever in Facebook. But this is a business platform. You're not really talking about your family unless you have a story that's relevant to business. But this is a business platform. This is an opportunity for you to have a full page ad in the Yellow Pages. Some of you are probably too young to know what Yellow Pages is. But for everybody else, maybe you have a 2-page sheet in the Yellow Pages. And so the more people that you have connected with, the more people who know about you. You never know where your next referral partner is going to be. I have had people come to me and hire me for consulting or coaching. And what I have learned is that some of these people come from people I have no idea who they are. They'll say, oh, Alice Brink referred you. Well, today I know who Alice Brink is. But, yesterday I'll be like, who's Alice Brink? And I go look up Alice's LinkedIn profile. I'm like, I have no clue who that is. But thankfully, thank you, Alice, she sent me a referral. This has happened to me more than one time. So you want to make sure you have that. So you want to make sure that I have that opportunity where lots of people know about you. And then the last part of here, I've already said this, is the more connections, the more opportunity for people to get to know you. Because cold leads, people don't know you, do not have any know, like, and trust trifecta, right? And we want them in our network so we can be building that up. And then there's a right way and a wrong way to make your connection request. And the wrong way, you all know, is starting off a connection request with a note that says something about, will you buy my stuff? I'm going to promote my stuff. Will you look at my video? Maybe I think you would be perfect for this thing. And they never looked at your LinkedIn profile, right? All those sales promotions that you get that you hate, don't be that person who sends those out to your new connection request, because this is what we will be thinking about you. That's no way to start a business relationship. None. And I know this is what you're thinking about other people. There are other ways and other strategies you can get to do that. Now, we won't be able to go into those today because we don't have a ton of time here. But we don't want to be this person that everybody's like, ew, sending me a sales message right away. No, there are much better strategies to get in front of those people who you're just newly reaching out to. And then deep. Deep is the second part of this equation. And deep is you want more people who already know you. So it's fascinating when I do LinkedIn training or consulting, or I do my retreats or courses, what I find is that we neglect our best customers. We forget to invite them into LinkedIn because we're already doing business with them. But your best salespeople are people who already are in love with you. And those are your customers, or even your vendors and suppliers, or people you have mentored. Your best opportunities are people who work with you. And your best referral champions, the people like who sent me 7 referrals, are people who already know, like, and trust you. Anne in this group. Anne is a champion of mine. She's referred several people to me. Right? We want to make sure those people are in our LinkedIn network and we take really good care of them. We nurture them well. So that's what deep is. And my favorite way to rekindle relationships with people who I already know and find referral partners is in LinkedIn. You can go and you can pull up a list. I'm going to show you how to do that now. You can pull up a list of your connections and export it to an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file. You can go through, you get their first name, their last name, you get their current business, and you get their job title. It is a gold mine. You also get the date that you connected. So I have almost 6,000 connections in LinkedIn. I can pull that list and I could go back through and say, who's a meeting planner that I connected with somewhere along the way? I could sort it in any direction I want. Mostly, I think the useful way would be by job title, and then reach back out to those people and rekindle that relationship, because you're already connected. It's just that maybe you haven't been engaged in a while and you need to re-engage that. So let me show you exactly how to pull up that report. Okay, so first thing is you're going to go into your LinkedIn account, and you're going to go under this itty bitty tiny mini me. Can y'all see it? Oh, I just said y'all. Is that a Texas word? Because it's not a California word. Okay, good.
Welcome to Texas.
All right, good. Thank you, Alana. Okay, so there's this itty bitty mini me right here. You're going to select that. And then you're going to get a drop down, and you want to select then settings and privacy right here. What's going to happen, should happen, is that this page pops up. And it says how LinkedIn uses your data. Now, if you don't get this particular page, then all you have to do is go right here under the left-hand side. Alana, can you see my mouse? Okay, great. So go under here on the left-hand side and just select under data privacy how LinkedIn uses your data. And then the third page it'll still be the same page, but I just want to show you this separately because this is really, really important. Do not download all of your data. If you do, it'll take 552 years to get this report to you, and we don't want to wait that long. So what you want to do instead is click on want something particular and then select connections. Right here, you'll see it in the green. And when you do that, you'll then click request an archive, and in about 10 minutes, LinkedIn is going to email you, whatever the primary email you've selected for LinkedIn, they're going to email you that Excel spreadsheet. And then you can filter it, you can sort it, you can do whatever you want from there. Does that sound like a gold mine to you guys? Yeah, if that's a gold mine for anybody, then put that in the chat room. Just put gold mine, because reaching out and rekindling the relationships that you already have is your fastest way to business, not new cold leads. They take time to nurture. But old relationships or former relationships, those are your hottest prospects. Those are the best people to do business with you or be referral partners for you. So make sure you download that list. Okay, this is Chuck Thoki. He's a client of mine. And Chuck is a sales consultant. I mean, you can tell by his profile, he does sales. He's a speaker and he is a coach, and he works in the home improvement industry. So he works with like a lot of roofing companies. He speaks at those kind of conferences, and he's speaking. Actually, I just saw he was at a conference live yesterday for some type of a home improvement. Not live, in person, because this is live, but virtual. He was live in person yesterday. I thought it was amazing. So events are happening. So what happened with Chuck is that he got a referral from a former client, but he didn't get it directly to him. The person, so Alice told Kim, you need to go and hire Chuck. But Alice didn't give an introduction email or anything like that. So Kim's like, well, where am I going to go find Chuck? And so Kim goes to LinkedIn and looks for Chuck. Well, now Kim's on LinkedIn and she's checking out Chuck's profile. Is Chuck legit? Is he the guy that I need for my business? Thanks, Alice, but now I'm on to doing my research. And they found that Chuck had an awesome profile, and he totally represented the business that this person wanted to hire for. So Chuck got booked for $100,000 training deal. Actually, it included, most of my clients aren't in speaking. There are lots of consultants and coaches, so they don't get this part, but it included a keynote speaking engagement and a follow-up $100,000 training deal that he didn't even have to do any selling. Because his LinkedIn profile was so good, they picked up the phone and they said, I've seen enough. I'm going to book you for this engagement. How awesome is that? So that's Chuck. And connect with him on LinkedIn. He's really doing some great, great work. You'll find him under Charles Thoki, though, not Chuck. His friends call him Chuck. All right, the second challenge is less than 1% of your ideal clients are in the market ready to buy today. And you know what? Unfortunately, for the keynote speaking business, it might be like 0.001. I don't know what it is right now, but it's not the same it was in January 2020. And when it comes to cold leads, definitely 1% less are ready to buy today. And that becomes a problem because we all want to get as many people as we possibly can to purchase our services right now. right? So we have that challenge in front of us. But there's an opportunity that goes along with that, which is that 99% of your market will be in the market to buy tomorrow. So what we want to do is we want to build top of mind awareness with that other 99% of people. And we actually want to do two things. As prospectors, we want to find all the potential prospects ready to buy today. All of them, right? Every single possibility, we want that. Well, we may not get that because that's unrealistic, but we want as much as that as possible. And then we want to nurture the other 99%, because what happens then is you build top of mind awareness and they only think of you first. They don't even think of anyone else because you've nurtured that relationship. So they're going to pick up the phone and call Alana because they want to save time. That nobody wants to go fishing in the sea. They want to throw their pole in. I just made up this analogy, so tell me if it makes any sense. They want to throw their pole in and get the biggest fish right away. They don't want to spend time with all the little fish or anything else. Okay, I don't know if that was a good analogy, but you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah? Okay, good. So we want to build top of mind awareness, and we want to build that idea and plant that seed in their head where they're only thinking of you when they're ready to buy. So the best way to do that is to position yourself as the go-to expert with a strategic content plan. Now, there's two parts of what I'm saying here, and one of it's going to be a struggle for some of you because you own multiple businesses. Now, if you can combine those businesses under one umbrella, kind of like we did for tomorrow, she had a really fun, like, what was the statement, Amy, that you put in? Put it in the chat room. I think it was stop whining and start leading, right? So Amy was able to quickly like combine those things and make it seem like one umbrella. But if you can't do that, it's going to be very difficult for you in LinkedIn because it's all based on words and you confuse the system. So what you might want to do is you might want to figure which is the leading business I want to promote in LinkedIn, and position yourself as the go-to expert in that business in LinkedIn. If you can find the common bond, awesome, that will work. If you can't, if you're struggling because these businesses are so different, which one do you want to lead with? Because you can have multiple company pages, and so you can manage a company page for the other business, but you can only have one LinkedIn profile. It's against the rules for there to be two Alana Hills, well, of the same DNA. And then the strategic content plan, all of you as speakers are content generators. That's what we do, right? That's our business. So this part should be a little bit easier for you. So what I'm going to show you is how to repurpose the content that you already have to save you some time. And I'm going to show you the best possibilities for you. And the first one is to increase your demand by publishing articles, or you could call them blogs. The great thing about articles in LinkedIn is that when you publish an article within their publishing platform, they have their own publishing platform. That is, no other social media platform has this. When you publish your blog in LinkedIn, you get a special URL, a unique URL that goes to that particular article. And so that article can be found on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. That is so amazing, because not only is your LinkedIn profile searchable on Google, Yahoo, and Bing, your articles are also available now on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. This does not mean you post your link from your website blog into the newsfeed of LinkedIn. That's not what that means. That's not using their publishing platform. That's just posting your link to your website. And so if you're writing articles on your website, just copy those same articles and publish them within LinkedIn's publishing platform. There's no problem with SEO. That's like an old thing that used to happen. There's no problem with that. Just put them in there and make sure you put an about section and a call to action. Because if people are getting to your articles, like this one was searched in Google more than LinkedIn. It was found in Google more than LinkedIn, even though I published it in LinkedIn. At 6,500 views, it's still getting views, even though I published it in 2015. Still gets views today. So make sure you're taking advantage of the articles tab. One thing that's great about this articles tab is that it is a permanent placement in your LinkedIn profile. And so people can go there who are really hot prospects, and they can see all the work that you have published. It's so huge. Okay, the next one is to use flip books, and I love these. I call them flip books. You may not find this term anywhere else. For those of you who don't know me, I make up my own words. I make up my own terms. It's just how I roll, and lots of times it's on accident. But this one I call flip book. You might call it an ebook. The reason I call it a flip book is because you can actually turn the pages in these. So after you do a speaking engagement or you work with a large consulting client, one of the best things you could do for your business is to post a document in LinkedIn about the same topic. They get tons of views, and not a lot of people are using this feature. So this one here actually is LinkedIn's. I downloaded this PDF and I uploaded it. I didn't steal their work because I didn't say I wrote it. I just reshared it in a different way. So this one had 750 views and I didn't even write it. This one here, almost 2,500 views. This was an ebook that I wrote. I made this in PowerPoint, and then I saved the PowerPoint to a PDF, and it creates this really awesome flip book where people can flip the pages of how to build a rockstar profile. The last one here, this is my favorite, is 20 Ideas to Increase Your Visibility. It has over 5,000 views. This one here is the simplest. This one, the Build a Rockstar Profile, reads more like a book. It had a lot of text in it. But this one has only these large boxes with less than 100 words in each box and each page. And this one had over 5,000 views. So what I have noticed is people are putting the ebook version with lots of text in, they get less views. If you take your ebook and make way more pages with less words on the page, it's easy for people who have short attention spans who are skimming, like we all do in social media, to skim through. Now, at the end of every one of these, the ones I produce, at the end I put about me, and I also put my services, because I'm going to promote myself every single opportunity I can get. Why would I do all this work and share it with people and not have that opportunity to promote? So at the end of the articles, I put about me. I also put a link to get back to my website. And sometimes I do an evergreen, like my #1 way to build visibility. And then you'll go back to my website and you get my free LinkedIn Ultimate Profile Checklist. This one here, you'll get my free LinkedIn Ultimate Profile Checklist, and you'll also learn about me a little bit. So use those as ways to get tons of views on your work. And they're super easy. I have the last one here I created in Canva. And I also hire a professional graphic designer from Fiverr if I want to create a really slick looking one, right? So you can either do it in PowerPoint, save it as a PDF. You can do it in Canva, save it as a PDF. Or if you have a really slick one, and you want to seem very high caliber to a prospect or a customer, and you want repeat business, then hire a designer from Fiverr or whomever else to do one inexpensively for you and make it look super nice. All right, the next one is really fun. And, I told you about the documents. Not a lot of people use that and know about it. And this one, not even less people probably know about this. So this is a story formula, and this is a great algorithm hack. Do you guys know what an algorithm hack is? It's like a secret to help the algorithm of LinkedIn or any other social media or website to be able to get more views, get more eyeballs on your stuff. So this algorithm hack I discovered, and I noticed some people know how to use it, but not a lot of others. So let me explain it to you, because any of you could use this to make a post and literally get hundreds of views, like almost overnight. So this one has a very specific formula, and it's kind of two parts. One is a technical formula, and the other is more of like a branding formula, which is a lot of what happens in LinkedIn. So the branding formula is that you want to have an attention-getting first headline. So just like your headlines that you created at the beginning of this training, you want to have an attention-getting headline like it's going to be in a newspaper or magazine or television. You want to get their attention. So like this example is, please, 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 whatever you do, please do not use a sales script. Well, that gets a lot of people's attention in sales, because a lot of people use sales scripts. And so I'm saying, don't do this. And then I go on to tell the story. And it has to be a really simple story. Because you only have 1,300 characters in a LinkedIn post, tell a story. It's like 100 words, right? So I tell what are the challenges, why shouldn't you do that, and then I say this is what you should do instead. So this is how your story, like here's the problems, here's the solution, right? Pretty much your speech is the same thing. Your marketing is the same thing, problem, solution. And then what you'll do is at the very end, you're going to do one of three things. You're either going to ask a question, you're going to make a powerful statement, like this one here is, you'll lose more sales with the script, I can guarantee. Or you're going to ask some people to comment on what they think. So either way, any of those three ways will work for your end. You could add a call to action, could be as well. So I guess it could be 4 things. So you could do any of those things at the bottom of this article. But what you're not going to do is add any links to anything else. Why? I don't know the answer to the why. But what I know is adding a link kills this formula. So don't add a link to this specific formula. You can add links to other types of posts. All right, and then you can add up to 3 hashtags, but don't put 1 million hashtags because then people won't read it, because hashtags aren't content. They're searchable terms. So we want them to see the content so they read it. And the last thing is you can put a picture. A picture doesn't affect this particular type of post. And you'll notice here on the top, under my name, it says 4D. This post had been posted for 4 days and it had received 635 views. Lots of views for a post for 4 days. So make sure that you use this type of algorithm story formula hack, but don't overuse it. Any of these things you don't want to overuse. So in selling advertising, one of the things that we learned that was critical to success was having a good media mix. So in your posting, you want to post different types of posts, just like these 4 I'm sharing with you today, because people, you just never know how you're going to get their attention, what they're going to like or don't like or whatever. So try these different ones, but don't overpost on this particular one, or people's eyes will start to glare over and you want to really get their attention. This is Nora O'Brien, and Nora is primarily a consultant. So she has an emergency management and business continuity consulting firm in Sacramento. She does speaking, and she's promotional speaking and paid speaking, depending on the opportunity to help her get more business. So what was happening is that Nora had an email list and constant contact, which was great, of about 20,000 connections. And she was getting a high open rate. About 20% open rate on her emails. And that's really good. But the challenge with that is that means 80% of the people who are in her customer or prospect database aren't receiving her emails. 80%. There was a new regulation that came out that really affected healthcare companies, and it was through the Medicaid and Medicare industry, and they were going to get cut off from their services if they didn't upgrade their emergency management plan. And so she really needed people to know this, and she could help them through her services. But 80% of the people on her list would not even know that. So what we did was we coupled her email campaign with this same algorithm hack email. And she was able to get 3,000 views in one day. She had 50 people, paid people, into her virtual event, where she was then able to offer them the opportunity to come work with their company anywhere between $1,000 do it yourself to $25,000 each consulting deal. So this type of post can be very, very effective in just getting eyeballs or supporting a promotion that you're doing. All right, Kim, would you do me a tiny little favor and just let me know how much time in the chat room we have in part 1 here, so I can keep a good count of that, because I have my phone here, but also I just want to double check with you. All right, do you guys know Rex Miller? He's in Texas. Anybody know Rex Miller? Do you know Candace Fitzpatrick? She does the core clarities. The Strength Finder, she'll give you like your top 5 and all that. She's super cool. You guys should connect with her. Rex is really amazing as well. And so Rex works, he does core clarities, but he also has his own business too. And he's a professional speaker. He's a member of NSA. And he does workplace wellness. And I've been working with Rex for a couple years on his LinkedIn profile. You'll see here when we first started, he had, I think, about 7,500 followers. This says 10,000. He now has over 17,000 followers and connections on LinkedIn. And one of the things he does quite a bit of is video. And video's really, really hot. For anything, video's hot. Little side note, though, is actually text-only posts in LinkedIn get more views than video. Just so you know. So this is why you want to have another reason why you want to have a media mix. But Rex posted this video, and this wasn't even his video. Oh my gosh, did you guys just hear that? Can anyone hear that?
We didn't hear it.
You cannot hear it?
No,
That
what's
is my
the baby?
That is my dog snoring as loud as I've ever heard her snore before. Oh, that's hilarious. I wish you could hear it. It's very cute. Unless you don't like dogs. Okay, so back to Rex. So Rex posted this video. This was not even his video. He reshared it. He had 209,000 views. Now, we would all love that. But I have no idea how to get you 209,000 views. What I can tell you is how you can constantly, or consistently, I guess, get 2,000 to 2,500 views. And you would be happy. We would all be happy to do that. To consistently get 2,000 views on your stuff. And maybe you will even get more. And what he does is that he comes up with a topic of inspiration and he posts a short video about it. So all these videos got 2,000, 2,500, 1,900 views. And you can see for these particular videos, he was not in a virtual expert looking office. He didn't do that. Well, he does it now. This was pre-COVID and post-COVID. Now he has a real fancy studio, but he didn't need that to get 2,000 or 2,500 videos. And I just want to tell you that too, is you don't need to wait till everything's perfect for you to put out videos. Just when you get an inspiration, create a video. Now for the ladies, you know, I'm not gonna do a video if it's not a hair and makeup day. I ain't gonna do that. For you guys, it's easier because you don't need hair and makeup days. But for us ladies, yeah, I get it. You need to wait till hair and makeup day. But then write out your inspiration, write that out in a blog, and then come back later and do the video. Because you'll get quite a few views on your video. This one here is like the most professional, 2,000 views, right? This one here, 1,200 views. But this one here, I'm like, could you at least make the bed in the hotel room? Did anybody else see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking the same thing, exactly. But nobody cared. It had 2,600 views, or maybe they're just stopping to look at it and say, is he in a hotel room? I don't know. But then this one, 2,300 views, and it's at nighttime. So get your video out there. I also don't think you need to overwhelm people with videos. So I had somebody on a training Thursday, and the guy's like, is LinkedIn keeping my posts like not showing them often? I'm like, well, I've never heard of that before. How often are you posting? He's like 4 to 5 times a day. No, this is not Twitter. You do that on Twitter, but that's because things go down the news feed fast. But they don't on LinkedIn. They have very long shelf lives on LinkedIn. So don't overwhelm people with content. This is a nice balance. You don't have to be here all the time. In my lucrative leads retreat, one of the things we do is we give you a suggested content. How often should you post? That's what we do. We'll do there. But you really just know, as a rule of thumb, is you don't need to overpost. You need to be very smart and strategic about your content plan here. And Rex, this was amazing. Sometimes you hear from your clients and you're like, oh my gosh, that happened to you, or you did that, or that was a result of your LinkedIn. He actually, I told you he has 19,000 connections. He actually was sought out and found by Uber, and Uber called and booked him to do some workplace wellness training. Now, I don't know about you, but I would 100 times rather have inbound leads, people calling me to do business with me, than go and make cold calls. And I was in professional sales for 20 years and a sales manager. I would much rather have business coming to me. So these strategies here will help you have business come to you and you not having to work so hard. Now, if you're newer in your business or you're newer to LinkedIn, yeah, you're going to have to go and be proactive about building your connections and building your business. But eventually, at some point, if you keep on doing this, if you keep working with this, the pendulum will change, it will shift, and people will be coming to you. One of the biggest challenges I see that I haven't even put in here is that people go and create their profiles and then they get too busy to come back to LinkedIn. Well, when you get too busy, you slow down your activity. And what that means is you're not filling your pipeline and you're not filling your funnel. And you don't start over totally, but you have just left everybody in the dust. It's like, can you imagine going out on a date and then your date you don't hear from them for like 5 days or a week or a month, and then they call you and they're like, hey, you ready to go out on the next date? And you're like, where have you been for a month? Oh, well, I was busy. Oh, well, I already found another date. Because my grandmother told me if the first date wasn't going to show up, make sure you have a second date. So they show up and then can the first one. So you don't want to leave your dates. Now, that's a bad analogy because we all hate getting those messages, the dating messages. I know you get those on LinkedIn. We all hate those. But the reality here is you don't want to leave your relationships behind by taking a break, and you don't want to ever stop filling your pipeline with leads. But we do that, and that's bad because then when we get to a place where, all right, well, we need business now, we now have to go back to outbound leads when you could have all along been working towards getting inbound leads. Anybody want to get inbound leads? Give me a oh yeah in the chat room. Let's see here. Oh, ghosting. Yeah. Stephanie, that's so great. Yeah, you're ghosting them for sure. Beautiful. Okay, super. Everybody is doing so great. And thanks for posting the questions in here. I promise you we'll answer all of those questions. Okay, so let's move on here. Okay, the third challenge is that your profile is repelling your prospects and you don't even know it. This is the worst one. So let me give you some blind spots here of what potentially happens is that your profile is blending in with everyone else. There's nothing on it intriguing or enticing or exciting, like stop whining, start leading. That is enticing. That's curious. That's fun. Want to know more. I have personally assessed over 500 professional speakers' LinkedIn profiles between NSA and CAPS. And what I have found was, particularly when it comes to the banner, and I'm going to share with you examples here in a minute, that everybody, not everybody, but most people put an audience in their banner. Well, the problem is if you're a meeting professional, meeting planner, event planner, somebody who's looking to hire speakers, you might be going to look between speakers' profiles. Well, then they all look the same because you all have the same banner. To you, you're like, oh, well, I'm just representing I'm a speaker. But to your audience, it blends in and looks the same. You want to have something that stands out and really gets their attention and looks totally different and not blends in with everyone else's profile. We want a stand-out profile. The next thing is that it looks homemade. That's not the quality that you want to create and build and attract high-paying clients. You want high quality for high paying clients. That means your Canva banner that you created or the picture you just put in, go hire a professional. It doesn't cost a lot to create a new banner that looks the high quality of the dollars that you want to charge. That will make a huge difference in getting people's attention. The next one is it reads like a resume. And I know none of you are looking for a job, but we certainly don't want your clients to think you're looking for a job. So what does a resume reading profile look like? It's all about you in the about section. Has everything to do with you. Well, newsflash is people don't care about you until they know and understand what you're going to do for them. And then they care about you and their credibility. But they first want to know what's in it for me of working for you. The next thing I see is people not optimizing their features section. This is a big, huge opportunity for you to put your speaker video, your book, a link to your book, a link to your calendar. You could also put video testimonials from your clients. This is a really big space. Prime real estate on LinkedIn that you want to take advantage of is the featured section, and you want to have things from left to right. Left most important, because that's how our eyes scroll across the screen. So if your speaker video is the most important thing to you, then put that thing on the far left so people will click on it. There's no contact info to get a hold of you. So I was in a mastermind group with meeting planners, and one of the biggest complaints they had about speakers is that they don't put their email and phone number on the top of their website and the top of their LinkedIn profile. They want you to make it easy for them to get your contact information. Don't make them work to work with you. Make it easy. You want to put your contact information in about 4 different places in LinkedIn, and one of those being in your banner. And the last thing is, it's really unclear what you do. You have a weak positioning statement. Go grab Lois Kramer's book, or call Karen or somebody who's a professional speaker coach, and help you with your positioning statement on LinkedIn. It's so very important. You only want 5 to 7 words on your LinkedIn banner, and you want them to be customer focused. You want them to be the outcome that you're creating, not more stuff about you. Also, you might not be using the right keywords. The words that go in your profile are so important, because that's how LinkedIn shares your profile with other people and shares your information with other people, is by the keywords that they're saying. Oh, Karen represents a leadership consultant and speaker, and we want to show her profile and her content to people who are looking for that kind of information. So we want to make sure we use the right keywords. Now, I do teach a lot more things for your profile in some other courses, but for today, I just want you to know that these things here, if you change these things, you will really be doing yourself a big favor. You want to instead attract people who are ready to buy with a profile that really stands out from the crowd. So I'm going to give you some examples so you can see some before and afters and really see the difference. So this is Richard. Here's his before, here's his after. Now, Richard's not a speaker. He's a leader for a very large organization, and he's trying to attract talent. So when people go to his LinkedIn profile to see if they want to work for Richard, you think they want to work for Mugshot Richard? Or do they want to work for Richard, who leads innovative teams and an inspired leader? Of course, number 2. This is Sandra Summerhays. She is phenomenal. She is a professional speaker, trainer, and consultant in Canada. She's a member of CAPS. This is her before, and she, when you meet her, she is one of the loveliest people you ever meet. But this is what she's representing before. Here's her after. Very beautiful, right? Very attention getter. You are not going to pass by her LinkedIn profile. You are going to stop at least long enough to probably go to her about section, which then we're going to attract them with more meat and potatoes. Lori King, anybody here know Lori King? She's an NSA. So beautiful headshot. And by the way, you want to have a close-up headshot, shoulder and head, nothing long shot, because the long shot will take away the closeness of your face. And your face is the first thing that starts to build trust with people. That's why every realtor in the whole world has their headshot on their business card, because it's the biggest purchase people are going to make, and they have to start immediately to build trust with them. And scientifically, the face is the first thing that helps you build trust. So you want to make sure you're zoomed up close. Do not have, and I don't think any of you do, I've looked at most of your profiles, don't have a logo or something that's not a picture of you in here. You don't want to do that. And if you see other people do that, tell them to stop it. Because profiles are 41% more likely, according to LinkedIn, to be connected with if you have a picture of yourself in the headshot. Here's her after, using her brand colors, right, Karen? Isn't that just beautiful? Using her brand colors, it's sharp, it's simple. My rule is 5 to 7 words in your banner, no more. So you do not see that she's been featured on Fox, NBC, CBS, blah, 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 blah. No, put that somewhere else, because we want to call attention to your message. If you have all that other crap, forgive me for the swear word, if you have all that other crap in your banner, people just glaze by. It's the same with your headline. If you have a really super long headline, people just glaze by you. The message is lost in that sea of stuff. So make it super simple and beautiful. And here's her email, and here's her phone number. This is Eddie. He's in NSA Atlanta. Don't know if any of you know Eddie. Wonderful, wonderful leadership speaker. And here's Eddie's before. It looks a little grainy. That's just my picture, my screenshot. But Eddie's this is what he does: breakthrough solutions for next level moves. And then in his headline, he comes down here to support that. Helping business leaders with continued success, break through adversity and find purpose, breakthrough expert and speaker. So your banner, your headshot, and your headline are the 3 pieces of prime time real estate on LinkedIn. You want to make sure those are spot on. Amy Rollins, she's a client of mine in Southern California. She does environmental work with construction companies. This is Hannah. Beautiful. Orange is beautiful. Most of you probably have brand colors. If you don't, go do some research on that, because colors have specific meanings in business, and you want to make sure you have the right colors to mean the right things. Orange is an awesome color because it stands out on LinkedIn. It's just gorgeous, and it's the color of creativity. So if you are somebody who considers yourself very creative, or your outcome is creative, then you might consider this color, but check that out. And then here's Melna Jones with a beautiful, beautiful banner as well. Oh, I love this. Purple's great too. Orange and purple, great. Don't these look awesome? Yeah, these are amazing banners. So this client is actually in England. That's why you see it spelled a little bit differently, but very simple message. Okay. So really what we want to do here is engage prospects and build influence and close more business. Yes. So here's what a hot prospect is going to do on your profile. I'm talking a hot prospect, not somebody who's just, driving by. If they're driving by, we want to make sure we have that awesome banner so they stop, right? That's what's going to make them stop. But a banner doesn't have keywords in it. It's a picture. So we want to have the headline to go along with it to have the keywords. All right, so there's where I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop here because she has a really cool banner, and that gets my attention. And yes, I want to do those things, get new clients and close more sales. Then what they're going to do is they're going to scroll down your profile, and they're going to start your about section. And you're going to miss the boat if it's about you. They're going to get on the boat if it's about them. And then once you only have like these first 2 lines, and then they're going to hit see more. So these first 2 lines have to be spot on. A lot of times I see people put their phone number in the email. I'm not sure I like that, because that's so assumptive. Like, how about we get their attention and their interest first, and then we put that. So then they're going to hit see more, and then here's the featured section here. So see, I have my book, I have my speaker demo. Now, just full disclosure, I need a new speaker demo, because I'm just about ready to switch my speaker demo over to all virtual, because that's about all I do right now. And it needs to represent that. And in your headline, see here it says virtual speaker. It should, for you, say virtual speaker as well. That's one thing you want to change and add that in. All right, and then they're going to keep going because this is a hot prospect. So now they're going to go down to your experience section. And now, do you have more video of you speaking? Do you have your speaker one sheet? Do you have all the marketing materials for your speaker business? Again, it really should be first person here, speaking to the person, speaking to the prospect. And then they're going to go down to this piece, your recommendations. And they're going to say, who is it saying good things about Karen? What do they have to say about Kim or Amy or Rob? Do you have nothing in here? Or do you have something in here that's from 2014? Karen was a great speaker in 2014. Woohoo, what'd you do? Retire after that, Karen? No, you want to see consistent ones, because sometimes I think the lack of having recommendations, I don't know if people notice as much, but do you notice I have 139 recommendations? 140 now, actually. I got one yesterday. That says a lot to people. I can't go put these in here. These people have to put these in here. You want to get your recommendations. In other trainings, I teach people how to easily get recommendations, but I bet you all are sitting on tons of recommendations. People who've said great things about your speaking. People have emailed you about working with them. You should take those and go and ask them for a recommendation. Just copy and paste it. They will send it right back, and you'll start to build up your recommendations. But this supports your social credibility. This supports who you are as a speaker, consultant, coach, trainer, and your business. And given the difference and make a choice between you and somebody else, the choice easily goes to you if this is how your profile's set up. And then the next thing they're going to do, probably the last thing they're going to do, is they're going to go look at what are you posting. So your articles, or you can call them blogs, and the documents, which were the flip books I showed you, they stay in permanent places in your LinkedIn profile. Permanent, so that your best, most raving fans will come here and see the work that you have. And I had a guy named Greg who lives in Northern Michigan. He heard me on a podcast. He connected with me on LinkedIn, and he started following me. And several months later, he finally messaged me, and he said, "I heard you on a podcast. I've been following you. I've read your articles, and I'd like to hire you to help me with my LinkedIn profile." I said, "Awesome." So Greg and I have been working together for like 6 months because he did these things, right? He went through my profile. He was a hot prospect, and really you can do so much research on people if you give them that opportunity to research you. All right, so let's take a look at 9 ways to heat up your prospects. And Karen, I have about 15 minutes left for this first section. Is that right? Give me a thumbs up if it is, if I'm on track here. Yeah? Okay, perfect. Okay, great. And thank you, Kim. So these are the 9 ways you want to grab people's attention with your profile. Is you want to make sure that you have a standout banner. You just saw several examples of that. And make sure that you have a standout headline. I didn't go through the rules of that, but when you pull up your LinkedIn profile and you go to look at when you've commented, liked, or shared somebody's information, you will notice your headline only shows about the first 10 words. You will do yourself a favor if those are customer focus words and not your title. There are some exceptions, like if your title is really specific to people hiring you, like for example, Dawn Bjork, and Dawn is in Colorado. Dawn is a Microsoft Teams expert, and people are specifically looking for this really small group of Microsoft Teams expert. So it really behooves her to have that title in there, but she has it within the first 10 words, but she has a customer focused statement first and then that title, but it's still seen in there. So sometimes what I see is people have in their title, award-winning author, a Hall of Fame speaker. That's okay to have those things in there, but I might propose that you take one more look at it and see, do you want to have your customer focus statement first and then your title second? So it could say like helping, I don't want to say helping because Lois Kramer would kill me for saying that, but taking leaders to the next step in their leadership journey, or whatever it is, right? More of a customer focused statement, and then keynote speaker, virtual speaker, trainer, consultant, whatever it is you do. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second one is you want to increase their desire to work with you in the about section. So again, it's not about you, but just like the story formula, it's like, what is the biggest challenge they're having in their business? Start with that so they know that you get it. Like, I'm trying to manage my virtual teams right now, and communication is tough. So if you're somebody who works with virtual teams, it is a hot market for you right now. But you need to break out of the gate with that about section with a challenge that they're having working with virtual teams. And then you want to go through with what are the challenges that you see. So I usually do things in 3s. I have no idea why. It's not scientific, but what are the 3 challenges that they're having? I identify those in the about section. And then for my clients, what we do next is we talk about how you are the solution provider. What's the path? It's a little bit, it's a lot like the brand story. Tell me, who's the author of the brand story? I get his name mixed up. And if you know the author of the brand story formula, I think it's called, put it in the chat rooms because this is a really good book for you to get. But it's similar. My formula is similar to that. only it's specifically made for speakers, consultants, and coaches. So in my formula, that's what I do is we introduce the problem, we introduce the solution, we have a call to action. That's what we do is we want to increase the desire for them to work with you. The third thing is to position yourself as a go-to expert in your experience section. So they're already going to see that in the about because they're going to go, Susan, she gets me. She gets what I'm going through. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go down and look at her experience and I'm going to say, all right, what experience does Susan have here? Who she worked with? And then I'm going to go look at the recommendations. And you want to make sure then also you're using the right keywords so that you come up in the right search results. And think of this like if somebody was to go to Google search, what are the words that they're looking at? This guy messaged me the other day to connect and wanted to know if I was interested in receiving more of his data something information. And I was like, what in the world is he talking about? And so I guess it was curious enough for me to click on his profile. But then I started reading his profile and I have a master's degree. I think that's pretty good. And I could not understand what in the world he was talking about. It was so high tech, so much jargon, so much funny words. I was like, I have no clue what you're talking about. No, I don't want to connect and get your stuff. I can't even, you don't even speak my kind of English, right? Which is like Michigan/California English, but it's still okay English. I just couldn't understand it. So don't junk up your profile with a bunch of jargon or creative words that you've come up with to describe your business. I love that. Use that, but nobody's going to Google search that you are a whatever title you have created. Our brains just aren't smart enough to go that way. So make sure you're using those right keywords. Have a call to action. Always, always have a call to action. What do you want them to do? On the speaker profiles that we create, we always put book me for speaking in the banner. Always book me for speaking because that's a message I want people to get. Book me for speaking, right? And then you could have an appointment scheduler in that featured section. LinkedIn, somebody misunderstood me the other day, does not have an appointment scheduler, a calendar. It's your calendar with the link to it in the featured section. So I use Book Like a Boss, but if you use Calendly or whatever you use, you can actually put that in your featured section. And then put your contact information everywhere. We never know where they're going to stop on the profile and want to call you. So the banner, your about section, your experience section, and definitely in the contact info section. You'd be shocked at how many are missing. And then you want to insert multimedia everywhere. Video, articles, PDFs. If you're a John Maxwell trainer, do you have a picture of you and John Maxwell? Put that there. If you have your speaker one sheet, put it in there. Your videos, put them in there. Have multimedia throughout your profile. Get your recommendations to help you increase your credibility. Those are the testimonials. And then publish articles to increase their interest in working with you. They'll know that you're the expert that you talk about whenever you give those articles. And interesting about articles, every one I write could be a speech. I could turn every one of my articles into speeches. So really, the articles are repurposed on social media and they go to my email inbox, but they're also useful for me in creating my own content for training. All right, so your success depends on two things: your strategy, which I've just given you tons of strategy, and your consistency. Making sure that you are doing things over and over. You're not starting this and leaving it, but you are doing things consistently. For some of you, that means you're just starting and you're doing it, maybe going and checking on LinkedIn once a week is now consistent for you, but don't go check once a week and then go away. Maybe some of you it's daily. Whatever it is, just find your cadence and be consistent. And LinkedIn will reward you with more connections. Okay, so we are about at the midpoint of our break, and I want to share with you that I have a couple extra resources for you. So the first resource is we just upgraded my ultimate LinkedIn profile checklist and some of my marketing materials. So I'm very proud of the work that we've done during COVID. And there are 2 easy steps for you to get this, but there are 2 steps. And if you don't do both steps, you're not going to get this because it's just how it works. So the first step is you want to take your mobile phone and you want to text the word LinkedIn, all one word. It is not 2 words. LinkedIn to 41400. That's the number you type in the word LinkedIn, and you're going to get the ultimate profile checklist. You can use this checklist to help you determine what you need to work on in your LinkedIn profile. What do you need to do to make that LinkedIn profile look amazing and stand out? So go get that checklist. The second thing you're going to do in there is it's going to say, send me your email. When I get your email, then what's going to happen is then you're going to get the downloadable PDF. You can print it out. You can email it to yourself. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Send it to a friend, whatever. And then your email is going to go into my email marketing database because I'm going to continue to send you articles like the one I just sent with social media or social selling, 5 keys to sales success. How to create thought leadership on LinkedIn. What are the 5 things you need to do to your profile? What are some new things that are coming up with LinkedIn? So I send articles about once a week on really hot tips for LinkedIn, but also for sales and marketing and leadership as well. So that's what you'll get there. If you don't like to use the mobile phone, you can go to my website. I have 2. I have a speaker website that's fancy schmancy, and I have a consumer website that's not fancy schmancy, but it's the, I love Wix. It's so awesome. And that's my non-fancy schmancy. That's darlingcoaching.com. And if you don't want to do the text, you could go there and you still get the profile. Okay, so, I can breathe now. Okay, I told Kim that I would bring an auction item that would be very valuable for all of you. And I'm about to go over that in a second. And 100% of your auction fee or whatever goes to your chapter. So I don't take any of it. You get 100%. So I've come up with an amazing offer for you today for the auction. And while I'm getting ready to share that with you, I want you to think about what is your greatest takeaway from our time together today. And we still have another session, but from the first hour, hopefully you've got some massive value. So make sure you put that in your chat room. What's the greatest takeaway, one takeaway from our time together today? Put that in the chat room. Okay, so here's our auction item. Somebody is going to be super duper stoked to get this auction item. It's one of my favorite pictures. I think I use her in about everything. Okay, so this is a Trombo package. Remember I told you I make up my own words. So Trombo means 3. So that one person is going to get all 3 of these items. We're going to do the auction in the second part, but I want to let you know what it is so you can think about whether you want to bid on this. So the first thing is a LinkedIn profile assessment and marketing strategy call. I ask you to complete a marketing questionnaire for me, very specific information about your target market. And then I review your LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to come back. We're going to do a virtual meeting, and I'm going to give you an hour's worth of suggestions that you should do to help you market your speaking and consulting business. It's recorded. So you will get a fire hose of information, but it'll be recorded so that way you don't have to try to absorb it all at once. Anne has done this with me. Rob Pennington has also done this with me. Somebody else here has done this with me. So Anne and Rob, would you? Let me finish this slide, and then would you be prepared? Would you be all right to say something about the assessment? We're gonna look at your social selling index, and I'm gonna help you with ideas to improve the technical piece. And then we're gonna discuss your personalized marketing strategy to attract more business. So what are you gonna do every week? I'm gonna share that with you in this assessment. All right, Anne or Dr. Rob, either of you wanna say anything about the assessment?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I was just amazed at the practical, simple, powerful changes that Jennifer was able to recommend and I could implement immediately in terms of what people see right off the bat. And I improved my banner. I changed the way that first about was. And I have probably, I guess, doubled the number of connections that I had since we did that, Jennifer. So I'm very grateful for it. It still benefits me. I even downloaded your checklist again to just go through it again. And I highly recommend anyone to take advantage of this, because I think in this virtual world, LinkedIn is just a powerful way of building your platform. The world's changed, and this is one of the changes, and Jennifer's one of the masters of how to take advantage of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. All right, and Anne.
So I think one of the the most valuable things for me was how Jennifer demystified kind of the process, but also because I'm so heavily niched, I had somebody who was on my side, on my team, but who had no vested interest in terms of like what I was doing other than to make me look really better. I think it's, really important to have somebody who's impartial, step back. I mean, they can understand your passion, but they're going to look at it through a filter that is not the same. And so I think it's really good. And I'm just sitting here thinking, okay, it's time for me to re-up again and have another session with seriously, because
Awesome.
I think that would be really valuable. I don't think this is, I think we just need to have people on our side who can be impartial and
Oh, that's so great, Anne. Like, see your blinds, see what you don't see.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
awesome.
Because
Anne,
yeah.
thank you, Anne, and thank you, Dr. Rob. You are both amazing. All right, so let's go on to the second thing. So the second thing here is I'm going to design your banner for you. Not me, my graphic designer. I'm not a graphic designer. If I designed it, it'd be one of the homemade ones in Canva. So we're going to have a professional graphic designer, and she is going to create one of the designs. I love this one from Irvin Nugent. He's a speaker, I think, he's an NSA Connecticut chapter. So going to have a great banner. And then the third piece is that I'm going to give you a ticket to my Lucrative Leads Retreat, which is March 18th and 20th. It's 100% virtual. So what we're going to do in that retreat is I'm going to give you my template, my formula to help you create the About section. You're going to get ideas and strategies to cultivate your referral partners and build the lead generating champions like I've shared with you I have. I'm going to help you determine exactly what to say, so those keywords, and also from a branding point, what to say to attract your ideal customers. I'll share with you how to grow your network of lucrative leads, how to turn high-end prospects into sales conversations. So it's great to have LinkedIn for marketing, but we want them offline and on the phone. And then you're going to get my template, as I said already, you're going to get my template for the highest converting LinkedIn profiles ever. And I'm going to support you to increase or create a 12-month marketing calendar of really juicy ideas, and I'm going to make it super simple, so it's not going to be hard for you to do that. So that's going to be the package. We are going to have a break. Anybody have questions real quick about the package and the auction before we move on to our break? And then Kim, if you will come on and share how long the break is and what time everybody should be back for part 2, and you'll want to come back right away because I'm giving you some major information that's proprietary, highly confidential, and we will not be recording that part 2. All of it. We'll record the Q&A and the mini profile, but we're not going to record the highly confidential stuff. Anybody have a question before we take a quick break?
Hey, Jennifer, before we take a break, can you tell us what the value of all that you've given us?
Yes, thank you. So the value is over $1,500.
Okay.
For this. So for the assessment, I charge $500 for the assessment. The LinkedIn banners, I charge $150 to $250, just depends on our time of our coaching call. And for the retreat is valued at $997, but what I'm doing is I'm selling the retreat at $97. So the value is $997, but if you were to go and order it online, you'll see it's $97. So I don't want you to feel tricked about that. So the total value here is about $1,600.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay.
You are welcome.
This is great stuff. I hope none of you bid on it so that I can bid and win it. But so we appreciate it, Jennifer. It's 10:34. We're going to take a break of about 10, 15 minutes. We'll start coming back so that you can go and whatever you need to do. If you are like Karen and I, you've got to take your dog out, whatever that is. We'll see you back here. And as Jennifer mentioned, when we kick off the second part of this training, the first portion of it, we're not going to record. We promised that to her because it's her proprietary information, so it won't be on the website. And then we will record the Q&A. So we're going to tell you how to bid. Good question, Michael. In the second half, we're going to have a little live auction, and we will let you know how you can bid for that. And what we'll probably do, Michael, is put bids in the chat instead of like kind of doing an out loud thing. That'll probably be the way we do it. So we'll clarify that, and we will do that in the second part after the break. In fact, I will firm that up during the break. So if anybody if everybody's ready for the break, we'll stop now. We'll come back at 10:45, and we'll get started at 10:50. It's 10:35 now. Everybody good? Thank you, guys. See you in a few. So we will do the mini profile assessment, and then we'll do the Q&A. So let's, so that we, oh man, this time flies when you're having fun. So that's what we'll do. That'll be the plan. During the Q&A, we'll do the auction in the chat. I'll watch that, and I've been writing down the questions. So we'll do the mini assessment now.
Okay, super awesome. Okay, so let's see. We're in different time zones. I have 9:12 here. It's 11:12 your time. Remind me what our end of our session time is. Oh, you're on mute, my friend.
It's 10 o'clock your time.
10 o'clock my time. Okay, thank you so much. That really
Okay.
helps. Okay, so 45 minutes total. Okay, so if you would like me to give you a live assessment of your profile, I want you to type your name in the chat room right now. Okay, I'm not going to look at the chat room. And let me know when the chat room stops being chatted, Kim.
Okay.
All right, tell me when it's done.
Oh, nope, still going. Okay, it's done now. Oh, well, now one more. Okay, now we're done. After that, we're done. I'm trying to write this
Okay,
up.
so Kim, number 1, number 7, and number 4. And then if we have time, we can do
All right, so let me go back. So I'm 1, yay.
Oh, you're 1, that's awesome.
Tamara is 4.
Okay.
And Deanna is 7.
Okay, so just we can come back here, but let's do you first, Kim. Okay, so Kim, let me, hold on, let me just get over LinkedIn.
Okay.
This way, because if I do it this way, then it'll be easier. Okay, Kim, can you see LinkedIn?
I can.
Okay, super. Okay, so Kim, I want you to first tell me just a little bit about your target market. Who is it that you want to attract using LinkedIn?
So I want to attract, senior level corporate leaders who manage teams, and also entrepreneurs who are looking to, maybe speakers, but entrepreneurs who are looking to expand their message. A lot of people want media and coverage, and so I'm looking for people who are looking to expand their brand by telling their story through media and the media space, not just, when I say media, the whole media world. So yeah, that's my people.
Okay, so 2 different target markets who want 2 different things.
Right.
Yeah. So is there something in common that they want?
My thing is transformative communication. They want to reach people in a way that they haven't before, that moves them. They want to be able to connect with people to get them to do something.
Okay, excellent. Yes. So, okay, so that's what they want. The outcome they want is to connect with others, to get them to, to influence others, right?
Right.
Right. Okay, awesome. So first off, you already know that I love your banner. Right. Love your banner. It looks very professional. We have your, and by the way, just so y'all know, Kim did take my course before, so she's had a leg up here. So you have all of the right components here. Your communication is your brand. So I love that, but I don't know that it speaks to leaders exactly. Okay. So because you're trying to blend 2 things, what that means then is it may be that in your headline you have to get more specific, because this being general will be fine since you have 2 markets, but you need something else to give it some context.
Okay.
It's great, but by itself it would be vague. right? So in here, let's create your communication playbook. I think that you probably also want to add leadership, something about leadership, executive leadership coach, right?
Okay.
Like that's a great term, executive leadership coach. So maybe less in the words and more in the actual adding the title. So let's create your communications playbook. So I love that outline here. I love the outcome here. And I think you need to add both the leadership and the entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So that I would for sure add to make that stand out a little bit more for you. The other way you could go about it is you could, your communication is your brand. I'm thinking for you, this might be, that's your actual tagline, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't want you to remove it. I just want to add something to give it some more context.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go down here to your about section. Okay. So what I would do here is I would start with a problem statement.
Okay.
So what is the challenge they're having right now that communication is the solution for?
The big problem is that there's a lack of trust. People are not comfortable, especially in this environment, communicating with their teams and their leaders because there's a lack of trust right now.
Yeah. So you could either start with the challenge, you could start with the challenge or the problem statement, or you can turn it around to what the outcome is, which is something like, are you ready to, do you need to build more trust with your virtual teams? And virtual teams, like later you can go delete that to Teams, but
Okay.
it's all about virtual teams right now. I mean, I don't know many companies actually physically all working in their workspace. So go change it later, but for now, you can focus on that virtual team. So are you looking to increase the trust, communication, and performance of your virtual teams? That might be the way to lead it. So for everybody, it's like you want to look at what's the problem that your solution solves. And then you either go at it with, are you having issues with trust, communication, whatever, with your virtual team? So you could go out that way, or you could turn it around to, is this the area you want to solve?
Okay.
That's what I would start with. Because I think that will kind of get the attention. Like that's like a, when you write like a radio commercial?
Yeah.
Yeah. So because you're in that media business, you know that. So this is kind of like your radio commercial.
Okay.
Here. This is, yeah. Yep. And I think you have a lot of the key components like increase engagement, productivity, and ultimately profits. 100%, that's what every corporation wants to do. So that's great, of course. But I would also add a little Kim Juju in here.
Okay.
Because you are a very creative, smart, and fun woman.
Aww.
I mean, isn't she? You guys know that Kim, she is. So this doesn't reflect your personality as much. So can we add some Kim factor in here to it?
Okay.
Kim Juju.
Okay.
To represent this person here.
Gotcha.
So, Jennifer, can you give an example of what that might look like?
Yeah. Is that Jill?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry, I don't see everybody. Kim.
Yes.
What do you do when you're not working?
I am creating something fabulous in the kitchen, or I'm watching sports, which is part of my work.
Yes. So I think it could be a combination of those two things. All right. So like using words like ideas like you're cooking up something or the recipe for something or actually this is interactive. So if anybody has any ideas, please feel free to put that in the chat room as well. Especially Amy Castro, you're very good at this. So that could be one way. Or you could go the other way, which is the sports, which is having more like a sports analogy, but still I want to make sure that it's got the fun factor of Kim, right? Or it could be radio DJ stuff, right?
Okay.
Like sportscaster, I know you TV and radio, right? But the new sportscaster has a little more fun factor than your main TV anchor. Main news anchor is usually pretty like buttoned up, like solitary, you know, like, but your sports people are the ones that come on with a lot of fun. So the words you might use in sports anchoring, Kim, that is what I would look at to put in here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Rob has, there's some great ideas in the chat room too. So, and Jill, I was thinking that too, but she didn't bring it up. Jill put your popcorn, right? So like, and Kim, thank you so much for sending me popcorn last night. It's awesome. And even in your popcorn labels, there's Kim, because there's like the spicy one, right? There's like a spicy one, like the names of the popcorns are fun.
Okay.
Rob has more about your prior sports experience, which is very impressive. Stephanie says, smooth out your rough communication spots. And she's thinking like shea butter. That's so cute. And then add color as in color commentary. Oh, commentary. Yeah. Yeah. So all that would be great. Now you have 2,600 characters in here, Kim. So I would expand this out even more. It's about 300 words, so it's about the length of a press release. Press release a little bit shorter.
Right.
Okay. Great job. Kudos. You have all your contact information. I love that you have in here about your speaking and consulting. I would 100% beef up diversity inclusion, because it is a major topic right now. So virtual team leadership and diversity inclusion are, in my opinion, the two hot topics that you're getting paid speaking engagements for right now. Many people are struggling to get paid speaking engagements, but those two are hot.
Okay, awesome.
You got them both. You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome. One more thing, Kim, I just noticed, and then we'll go to the next person, is you do not have a link to your company page here.
Oh, that's right.
And we want to make sure you have a link to your company page, because what happens sometimes when people would click on that, if they want to go learn more about your company, is they come up to a list like this, and now we have your competitors here. I don't know these people. I don't know them, but to me they're competitors, because I can click and go to their profile, and then I get lost in the rabbit hole and never get back to you. Gotcha. So we want to cut off that rabbit hole, and we want to make sure that you have a company page for them to go to. Now, you do not need to manage your company page like you would your personal profile. Personal profiles are the power of LinkedIn. The company page is not. But if you can have an extra exposure, then take it, right? Take that, but manage your personal profile. And then also you cut off having that opportunity to go somewhere else. All right, was that helpful, Kim?
That was awesome.
Awesome. Was that helpful to everybody else? Okay, great. And if you have ideas for Kim, please let her know.
Yeah, I'm a
group effort. All right. So who was our second person?
I should have written it down. I think it was
Tamara's waving her hand. Okay, great. Okay, Tamara. So let's go here. Let me find you, Tamara. Okay, there's Tamara. Okay, awesome. Is that you, Tamara? Oh, must be, because we are. All right, so Tamara, come off of mute here. I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
All right, so Tamara, who's your ideal customer? Who's your target market?
So I have two businesses, the wine business and the training business, and the customer, I'm looking to get butts and seats into my virtual classes.
Okay, and what are those, who's the ideal customer for the virtual classes?
So it's somebody who, for the wine business, it's somebody who's interested in learning more about wine and wine grapes and geography. For the training business, it's about those people who want to build on, learn and build on new skills for leadership. That's fun and easy virtually. They're both virtual businesses.
Awesome. And great job for having the virtual businesses. You're way ahead of a lot of people. So awesome, super awesome. Which of those two target markets do you think you'll get more customers from in LinkedIn?
The training business, not the wine business. In fact, in the course of the morning, I'm thinking I need to build up my Facebook page for the wine business and to have a company website. And I'm thinking I need to extract the wine business out of LinkedIn and just be focused.
You got it, sister.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a couple things. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the wine business, but the training business is a bigger opportunity for you here on LinkedIn. Okay, so the wine business, yes, I would do Facebook, but I would do Instagram. And the reason for that is I believe Facebook is starting to go down. Like, it's still amazing. It's still huge. There's 2 billion people on Facebook. So 100% you're correct. Do the wine thing on Facebook. And I would add Instagram because that one's the hot one. They're both owned by Facebook, but Instagram's a hot one. So you might do a little combination of both. Now, we don't have 40 hours to be social media networkers. So you may need to get yourself a virtual assistant to help you with that. And you give that person the strategy and have them execute. And on LinkedIn, what I would highly recommend is that you have a business page for your wine business. So you're gonna lead LinkedIn with your training business, but you're gonna have a business page for your wine business, and you can post all the things you post in Facebook over on the business page and for your wine business.
Got it.
So that way you still represent yourself as having both of those business. We don't completely ignore the wine business, but you beef up the talent, the leadership business. Okay. Okay, so obviously banner here is important for you. You know, I don't have to tell you that. Your headshot, I would zoom out a little bit on your headshot. So usually I'm having to tell people to zoom in, but I would zoom out because your chin is right here and it's just kind of a little bit distracting.
Okay.
Right? So if you could zoom out a little bit. Plus, is this the most current image of you?
Well, this is morning hair. I do have hair that looks like that.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So that's totally fair. I don't know that I would have known it was you based on seeing you here. So that would maybe it's just more the morning thing. And so totally fine. But if this doesn't look like who you would show up in a virtual meeting to, then you might consider getting a new headshot. And what happened with me is that I was taking these beautiful headshots with my hair down. And I would do a training and someone would say, that doesn't even look like you. I'm like, I just got the picture taken. It's not like a glamour shot from 1980. Like I just got it. But it didn't look like me because I show up in a ponytail. I never wear my hair down because I do distracting things with it and it annoys the audience. So I wear my hair in a ponytail. And so I went and got new headshots in a ponytail because that's how I'm going to show up. So that's the only thing a little bit on that. It's not super duper like critical, but just a suggestion for everybody. Okay, so now your headline. What do you think about your headline?
I haven't looked at it in forever.
Yeah, the title is 100% fine. And let's add, what is the outcome people are searching for when you're supporting them with leadership development? What are they looking for? How does that help them? Or what's the biggest challenge they're facing?
Yeah. Trying to get leadership training to their leaders in a virtual world.
Ah, yeah. So, yes, how to engage. It's not just engage, but how to create, design, how to design leadership training or how to implement or how to support your leaders, right? So something like that is what they're looking for. So what you're telling me, Tamara, is that it's a company that is invested in leadership training. They believe in giving their leadership training. And they're struggling with getting that training to them in a virtual world. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So
it came out of your mouth.
yeah. So it's kind of like a little bit of just, I have a master's degree in change management and I was a manager for years. So I could see how, and my husband just got promoted, yay, to manager. So I can see like what's happening in a current affair here. So I think that you should put the very first statement, might even be like having trouble leading your leaders in a virtual world, or training your leaders in a virtual world. Because that would be the first statement that would come up, and then you're going to follow it up with your about section. And anybody else have any ideas? You guys know Tamara better too. So if you have good ideas for her on what she should say, and also hearing her target market here. So in the about section, you are going to talk more about that. So, and what's great about what you're talking about is your target market isn't somebody who doesn't value leadership training. Your target market is somebody who already values leadership training. You're not trying to sell them on why they should get leadership training. You're trying to sell them on why they should invest in virtual training. Is that right? Or am I making this up?
That's correct. No.
Okay, good. Yeah, so this is what you want to talk about is, so your company values leadership training and supporting your leaders and helping your leaders become better leaders. But you find yourself in the midst of a virtual storm. And you're not quite sure how to give your leaders the same valuable leadership support that you've always been giving them. That's where I come in. Got it?
Got it.
Is that helpful?
Yes, thank you, very helpful.
Awesome. Okay. And then same thing in your experience section is now we want to talk about, okay, yeah, I got you. Like, I got you. You hooked me. Now, who is this Tamara Atkins to serve me? Yeah. Who is it? What have you done? What big companies have you worked for? You know, I want you to get recommendations, AKA testimonials, but also in this part, you could also put a client success story, like how you help somebody implement the virtual leadership training side. What was that success like? You could also then type in a testimonial to have it stand out here. So if you have a client who really had some amazing results for you, you could have that testimonial in here too. And now it looks like you do have your business page, company page. So congratulations. Very good. You might take advantage of having a message up here though. It's beautiful.
Well, the challenge is I have like multiple part-time gigs. So that's not my company. That's a company I work for. So I don't have a lot of control over what they have there.
Oh, that's not your company. Okay.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, you see I'm working for LHH. Then I have my own company, Strategic Visions. The wine
this one's your company here?
Yes.
Okay, so we want this at the top.
Yeah.
Want this moved to the top. There's only one way to do that, unfortunately, is that you have to change the dates because this is sorted by date. So since this one is 2015, this one's 2000, this is newer, it puts it toward the top. So this is what I would recommend for you is that you change this date to be at least 2015. Go mess with the dates because you have to mess with the dates and figure out what will happen is when you get the dates right in here, you don't want it to be 2015 because you want it to be 2000. There will be 4 little dashes right here. And those dashes mean that section's movable. And you want this in front of this. Now, if for some reason it won't work, then I don't know, I might consider taking that off because you want your business to be the lead business. And if you have all these part-time things, it's totally fine to have the part-time things, but just make sure they're showing up somewhere different. Or you could even have in your business, you could have, I'm a consultant for these companies. Yeah. Okay. And Jill's saying, you know, the LHH needs to come off of your banner too. So basically right here, what's happening is they're going to click to go to that company. This automatically populates like this. You want it to click to go to your company.
I saw it in the description. I didn't even notice the logo, but in the banner, Tamara has the LHH where it's describing her master talent development coach. So that part right underneath her name in the banner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the part
yeah. Right here. Yeah. In her headline.
Right.
Yes. Good catch. Very good catch. Awesome. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. That's so great. And then last thing here is I put spaces in here. enter after this. I always write mine in Microsoft Word and then copy and paste them because LinkedIn doesn't have a grammar checker or a spell checker. And so I put mine in Word and then I go back and insert it in here. Well, sometimes when you copy and paste, it comes back like this. We want to have lots of white space. If you have a master's degree and you had to write technical papers like I did for a long time, then you are programmed to write with 4 sentences per paragraph. Well, don't do that and break that rule in LinkedIn because we're skimmers. So lots of white space here so we can easily skim all this amazing experience that you have. So that way we digest it. Okay, so we are going to stop Tamara there, and we are going to go on to who's the next person.
So we have Deanna, and then we'll go to the Q&A.
Okay,
Deanna
excellent.
Sullivan.
So mine will be easy because I haven't done anything.
Oh, Deanna, you're so sweet. So is this you right here,
Yes,
the first one?
That
Okay.
is. That's me.
So Deanna's like, all right. Oh, you're so pretty. Look at that pretty picture. Okay, so Deanna, all right. So y'all already know up here. So let's see if we can find, you guys already have
wait,
some of this.
Can we
Yeah.
back up? Can we back
Of
up?
course.
So right
Go
here, somebody said I shouldn't have all my, why does it say second there? Because you don't know me?
Right, we're not connected with. So, hi, Deanna. And then I go, I'm reviewing your profile. Then most people go, oh, crap. But she asked for it.
Yeah, I don't want to be second in anybody's list. I want to be first.
I love that. Okay, so what was your question?
So I've got my initials there, and then I've got my company, Sullivan Solutions. I don't have a statement, so I need a statement. But should I take all my initials off, and how do I get them to pop up by my name?
Yeah, that's such an excellent question. So with all due respect, Deanna, you get this, right? With all due respect, how important are all those initials to your customers?
It's kind of impressive to a lot of them, but it doesn't tell what I do, right?
Well, I don't know. That's why I say with all due respect, because I want you to take the question in the way that I don't know. So if it's super important, you want to add them. If some of them are not as important, like I had a client who has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was like, what the heck is that? Does that need to be there? He's like, oh yeah, that's like the licensing why people hire me. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't know that because I'm not his ideal client. So I obviously know what a CPA is, but these other things I don't know, but I'm probably not, I might not be your ideal client. So what I would say is this. You can take the most important ones, and when you go into LinkedIn and you hit edit on your profile, which will be about right here for you, and then your name comes up, just put the most important ones behind your name. So like, I'll just show you in a quick example here.
And yeah, the initials do credentialize me, but still it doesn't show that I'm a trainer or a speaker.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So
Okay.
see here, I have MM. That stands for Masters in Management. So you just put them behind your name in the profile.
Okay, great.
Okay, but here's the thing. So you have a ton of initials. So if they are all important, you can put them all here. But that gets to be the element where people are like, oh, ay. Right? So if there's more important ones than others, then just put those there. Okay, so I'm going to pause on that for a moment because you can also put all these down here in your experience section.
I did.
Right? Yeah, so you're going to have them for surely on your profile. Well, they're not here in your experience section.
Oh, no, they're above on the about.
Yeah, so I'd put them here too.
All right.
Okay, so as I go back up here, then yeah, you absolutely want a statement. So who's your target? Who's your ideal customer?
So CPAs, fraud examiners, and internal auditors, which is those first three initials.
Ooh.
I do ethics. I help people improve their ethical behavior, their ethical culture in their organizations.
Ooh, how exciting.
To teach. Hey, Randy, that's cool. I teach, I'm certified in the state of Texas to teach ethics for Texas CPAs. So I'm one of a few people that can do that.
That is super awesome.
It is super awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. It sounds so unique and different. I love that. So your ideal customer is other CPAs. So you're training other CPAs, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here's one thing you can do that I've done before with some clients, and I love it, is the CPA's resource in your banner. And then you might have how you support them here. So if ethics is, I don't think it's the only thing you do, but I do think it stands out. You definitely want to talk about in your about section, your experience. But then you might say like working with CPAs to help them increase their bottom line or their business ethics or whatever it is that you help them do. I would have that here. Because I imagine you do more than ethics training, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what is it you help them do? Like, what's the outcome of working with you?
So to improve their performance, enhance their business skills, to help them achieve their objectives so they don't get bogged down with fraud, unethical behavior, poor systems.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So I am going to ask you all if you have some ideas for Deanna on what she might say there, because that was some good stuff, and we want to kind of pare it down a little bit. But I think you want to get to see that you are a resource for CPAs, because you have such a perfect, like a niche target market, so you can go right in for that.
Okay. So how do I get my logo I mean, it's just a blank. That's because I don't have a company page.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. So your logo will happen when you develop your company page. It'll automatically go in here, but you will have to go back and link the two. So you can create your company page, but then you'll need to go back and link it for the logo to come in here.
Okay.
Super fast learner.
And so it popped up my college at the top. Do you want your college to pop up at the top?
It depends. You can turn that off, but it depends. So, for example, my master's degree is from University of Phoenix. My undergraduate degree is from Western Michigan University. Well, University of Phoenix, I worked my butt off to get that master's degree, but there's a lot of people who probably got their master's degree and didn't work that hard in University of Phoenix. So like the level of which that college is, the level of caliber that college is versus Western Michigan University, which was just announced one of the top 10 business schools in the whole country by Pepperdine or somebody big. Like to me, that has more juice, not just juice, but more credibility, I guess. And I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what my brain's telling me. So I do have my Western Michigan University on there. If West Texas A&M, which to me is like Texas A&M, I see that and I think that's a pretty great school she went to. So why not have it?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Texas A&M is a huge university. That adds to your credibility. Some people didn't go to college. And so some weird stuff's going to come up on here, and then you might hide that.
Okay.
My friend Dave, who owns a super successful software company, didn't go to college. And he's like, so I don't know what to put there. So he actually put School of Hard Knocks. Right? It's like, okay, but that matches his personality. He's like, I went to the School of Hard Knocks. So like, all right, that's your school, right? So yeah, I personally would leave it.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
So let's see. Here it is. Where was that? It had my degrees at.
It will be down here under education.
There it is, license and certificate.
Yes. I would go into any of these that are blank like this, and I would retype in the organization to see if they now have a LinkedIn page. Because as many of these boxes that are like this, you want to try to get them with the logo. They may not have a LinkedIn page, and then we'll leave it there. But otherwise, I would go back for all of you and relink these.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Was that helpful?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I need to do some work to get it to marketing. My about, yeah, for sure. And the banner should show what you do.
Yeah, the banner you want to, I think my way that I do it is to talk about what the outcome is for your client. So since you're working with CPAs exclusively, it might be something like Because it sounds to me like ethics is a piece. It sounds to me like business management is a piece based on what you described. So it may even be like those key things that you help them with. So and I'm just making this up right now because what I do in my assessment, so whoever wins the assessment, I have you complete a marketing questionnaire first. So I get a lot more detail about you than like right now we're doing some mini assessments. So if I had that information, then I would be able to give you the exact words that you put in there. But for now, I think what you're looking for is what is the outcome that you provide CPAs? Like if you were to interview them and say, how did I help you with your business? They're going to say, you did this, this, and this. And those are the things you want on your banner.
Yeah, I mainly provide entertaining education.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much,
Thank
Deanna.
you. That's amazing. I so appreciate it. And I'm sorry I missed the first part. I'm not feeling well this morning, so I slept in. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad I missed all this earlier stuff. I can't wait to see the recording.
Yeah, we recorded the first part. So yeah, you're all good. All right, thank you. All right, Kim.
Yeah, so that's a great way to segue. We're going to go to some Q&A, and if Jennifer will spend a few extra time with us, we'll go past her 10 a.m. time. She did such an amazing job with the assessments, which is a lot of the Q&A. Now we're going to open the auction. So the auction, for those of you who missed the first part, it is a combination of things that Jennifer's going to give. She mentioned the assessment. She's going to assess your profile and help you with that. And then she's going to tell, what are the other two things you're going to do?
I'll put up the last thing up here too, so y'all know. So we have the LinkedIn assessment. Like I just did the mini ones, but you get an hour-long time with me. And then you're going to get a banner, and then you're going to get a ticket to my lucrative leads retreat. So those three things will be what the items are.
So this is what you get if you win the auction, and this is a value of over $1,600. That whatever the auction winner, whatever bid wins goes to the chapter, and the chapter will make sure we get the money and then connect you with Jennifer. So if you will start putting your bids in the chat box, we're going to start the bids at $100, and I'm going to I guess we'll just keep it open. And then we'll start the Q&A. I have been writing down the questions, so while you guys are putting in.
Awesome.
So can we bid as many times as we want?
Yeah,
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can bid till there's no more bids. And it's not item 1, 2, 3. You get all three items, Tamara.
Well, and remember, Deanna, it's not a raffle, so don't bid against yourself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So if I could have Alana.
I was like, why are you bidding against yourself? You just upped the bid.
And there's only one winner. That
Hang
would
on
be
a second,
great, Jennifer, if we could have like a couple.
Deanna, hang on 1 second, okay? Because we are up against it, and I don't want to abuse Jennifer's time this morning. So here are the instructions. If I could get either Alana or Kelsey to manage the bid, I'm going to start reading the questions so we can do two things at one time. So if one of you will handle that. All right.
Yep,
so
I'll keep an eye on the bids.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so Michael had a question, and he said, if you have several different niches, how do you use LinkedIn to promote them differently?
You would have several company pages. So what you need to consider is there's one of two ways to do this. Either one, you have, I look at it like a marketing umbrella. You have several different topics, but they all have some common thread. If that's the case, then you market the common thread, and then you have company pages for each of the different companies. Now, if your companies or target markets are so completely different, let's say like Amy, Amy has pretty different target markets. So Amy, one hand, it works with pet companies, and on the other hand, she works with government officials. So different. Unless she can change her training to add more pet stuff into her government officials, that's one way she could do it.
Puppies, Jennifer. Everybody likes puppies.
Everybody loves puppy dogs. But if she can't do that, then you're going to need to decide which one's going to be your lead. because you cannot have two profile pages. So then you choose your lead for your personal profile, and then you mark it in the company profiles to the other ones. You just can't do both. And what happens is LinkedIn will be super confused and not know what bucket to put you in. Like when we started working on Amy's, all the people that were coming up, that other people were looking at their profiles, I believe it was Amy's. Now, if it wasn't, it was Lee Richter, who also works in the pet industry. All these places like Petco and all these places were coming up, but she wanted to get more government clients. But LinkedIn's putting her in the pet care industry. So that's the challenge if you are so totally opposed. So you may have to pick a lead one for LinkedIn, but have multiple company pages.
Hope that was helpful, Michael. Okay, someone asked, where are you sourcing the books, the ones that you don't write? I think they meant when you say you post articles or things that you didn't author.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. A lot right now I'm posting my own work, but that's because the last 6 weeks I decided to make Mondays Marketing Mondays and only do my own marketing and not take client calls on Mondays. So last 6 weeks, all my own stuff. I have over 60 articles in LinkedIn. Okay, but that's not going to work for me and everybody full time. So curated content is excellent. So I go to my favorite resources, and for me that's Harvard Business Review, mostly. That's my favorite. So I'll either go to their website or I'll go to their LinkedIn company page, because if they post something in the LinkedIn company page, I can easily share that from their LinkedIn company page, or I'll grab the link from their website and repost it. So that's what I'll do. So anything that is good for my target market, those resources, that's what I use. Oh, you asked how to get leads from the LinkedIn article, and have you ever been offered to speak at an event from your post articles? How do you track the data that your leads came? I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, there's no way I cannot track that. Like I can get a lot of here's what I can tell you is that, so how do I get leads from my LinkedIn art? I don't know that I get leads specifically from the articles. I get leads from all of the work that I do in LinkedIn, not just from that one thing, from all of the work I do in LinkedIn, which includes partly articles. In all of my articles, I give somebody my freebie, my free gift. So they'll come back to my website and be on my email list so I can remarket to them. When I speak at an event, so I showed you this morning that I was able to, that I spoke at the PCMA in San Francisco in January. Immediately after, I posted a flip book. I can go in the flip book and see who saw the flip book, and what I saw that most of the people, the number one city viewing my flip book was Philadelphia. Well, my meeting sponsor came from Philadelphia. His company was in Philadelphia. So I know, so anecdotally, I can see, right? Do I know that for 100%? No. But I can see that where Philadelphia, I never get Philadelphia views. So that's how I can measure it, is just by seeing the simple analytics. But I do not have super specific analytics. Hopefully that answers your question, at least to the best of my ability.
Okay, the next one, and these were kind of answered. Can you post to YouTube on LinkedIn? Yes, you can. And then what's a good length for time for your videos? Asia mentioned closer to 1 minute, but definitely less than 3. Would you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree with her. I sold billions of dollars in advertising. And that was between 5-second ads and 30-second ads. Never longer. You can have an amazing message in a short amount of time. And 2 to 3 minutes, that's fine too. But if you want long form video, put it on YouTube. That's where people want to digest long form video. They don't want to digest long form video on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I was thinking less than 2 minutes or less. Is that? But
yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
Better. Okay.
Thank you for that. And somebody asked about premium. Is it worth getting? What do you recommend about that?
It's always a tough question. So I have premium and I never use it. That's one thing. It's an $800 investment. I don't know why I keep it. I guess I have FOMO even though I never go in it. So is it worth the $800 investment? If you're going to use it, yeah. But everything I taught you today, everything, the 7 referrals that I got over the last week, none of that came from anything I did on Sales Navigator. It all came from everything I did within LinkedIn, but also LinkedIn to me is kind of like a hub, meaning I'll grow my connections in LinkedIn, but there are 3 other places I'm going to grow my network, my following. That's speaking, referrals, and networking. So social media, speaking, referrals, and networking. Those are the 4 things that work to grow my business. What happens is it's kind of like a funnel where those 4 things are out here bringing new people to me. And then I use LinkedIn is one of them, but I also use it here in the middle too, because I have all of those people connect with me on LinkedIn. And then out the other side, I post articles and content so that I can build top of mind awareness with the people I met in the first part. Does that make sense? Because sometimes like when I'm explaining things, it makes sense in my brain, but it doesn't make sense to other brains. But that makes sense, Jill? Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, thank you for that. Are there LinkedIn ads that work like Facebook ads?
Yeah, there are. Now, I haven't purchased any LinkedIn ads, but there's somebody in NSA who does this, and she does a very good job with it. I'm trying to think of what her name is. If I can think of her name, I'll tell you. She led a session, a virtual session, I think at the Influence about buying ads on LinkedIn. So you can definitely buy ads on LinkedIn. Now, here, when you're buying ads on LinkedIn, you are putting your time and energy probably towards cold leads, right? So that's one way to grow your business is toward cold leads. So you can definitely do that, and this one speaker told me it works really well. I would, though, first look at who's in your sphere of influence. Who's in your immediate sphere of influence? Who are referral partners that you could connect with? Other speakers are great referral partners because some of the best paid speaking engagements, actually the highest ones I've received came from other speakers.
Okay. Denise has a question. She has a Bloomberg article coming out on Monday. Congrats. How can I best leverage LinkedIn? This article is written by her. Other articles are written about her. Their strategy.
Awesome. Yeah. So Bloomberg, very big title. There are 3 things I would do with that. Number 1, I would put it under publications. You can add a link to a digital article in publications. The thing is, that's further down your LinkedIn profile. So the further down, the less likely people are going to see it. So I like important things to be really high. So the second thing I would do is I would put it in the featured section of LinkedIn. You can easily add that in the featured section. That'll be big right on your section. That'll be in your profile. And then I would be posting that sucker in your LinkedIn newsfeed over and over and over again. Like take a sentence or 2 sentences out of it, a quote of yourself or whatever, and then post it to the article. So repurpose it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think you talked about this and Amy kind of answered it. How many hours a week do you recommend to build your profile? That's kind of an ongoing thing, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, the way you ask it, let me just, I'm going to add one more little thing here too, Kim, is you should invest some time in creating an awesome profile. And once you do that, you can really then switch your energy over to growing your connections and building top of mind awareness. And then just change your profile here and there. But a profile is a big piece because that's like building a website, right? It's your marketing and your branding. So once you do that, you pretty much have that dialed in. You just do some minor updates. Then the 75 points of the other 75 points plus the articles come in engaging people.
Awesome. Okay. And I think you kind of answered this. Amy asked about, she says she's loving Sales Navigator, but you really have to use it to make it worth the money. And you're saying for most of us, a lot of it can be done on the free version.
Yeah, so most of you will not need Sales Navigator. Most of you need to maximize the free version of LinkedIn because you haven't done that yet. And so what will happen is if you start to run out of, if LinkedIn gives you notification that you're connecting with too many people or cuts you off of your messages, you can go over to Sales Navigator and you can connect with more people. You can use their email platform, which will be different. The only part I don't like about that is if I decide to turn it off, then my emails are stored in Sales Navigator. I lose all of them. So that is a part of that. But you can tag people. You can also create lists of prospects. And when you do that, you'll get it's a separate software program. So you're going to get in your inbox, it's going to say things like, this person's changed jobs, this person was in the news. Like, it gives you a little bit more detail on your prospects. So it matches your prospects for you. And so that's kind of cool. But many people like us, like if you were in corporate sales and your job was really hundreds or thousands of leads, I think it makes a lot of sense to have that tool. But if you only need 10 really awesome clients a year, do you need that tool to manage that activity? I'm not sure that you do.
All right. Listen, and we didn't do too bad in terms of time. I want to really honor your time and everybody else's. So first of all, thank you for sharing your time and your wisdom this morning.
You're welcome.
Amazing. We're going to have Elena tell us about the winner of the auction. We will follow up. We, NSA Houston, will follow up with you to collect your money. Thank you for your donation in advance. And Jennifer, thank you for giving that to us. Let me also add, and this is not a plug, but Jennifer has a business. And so if you didn't win the auction item, you can connect with her outside of this and about the assessment, an individual assessment, or any of her business products as well. So I wanted to say that. Alana, do you have our auction winner, or is it Kelsey, whoever it is?
Well, Kelsey was monitoring our bids, but when I scroll and look at the highest bid, I'm assuming that's what we're going with. And so the auction is officially closed, and Tamara Atkins has won with an $800 bid. Thank you. Those proceeds go to our chapter. So we thank you so much for that, Jennifer. We appreciate that, and good luck, Tamara. Have fun. Tamara rhymes with camera. I had to say it in my head. I'm good. All right.
All right. Before we go, and so congratulations to you, Tamara. Okay, I'm trying to open something because we have, but before you go, Jennifer, we know that, especially because you are joining us from sunny Southern California. And so this is a little something that from all of our members to you, okay? We want to say thank you for, you know, we'd like to do something big and send you on a cruise around the world, but no one's traveling, so we didn't do that. Instead, we decided to just let you know how much your time today meant. So these are just some things that people said. So when you're sitting around,
I have chills.
And if you ever have one of those moments again where you feel kind of sad, just pop open this NSA Houston note, and you'll be reminded of how much value you provided to us, and we super appreciate it. Especially that you even went long. I mean, you stuck around. You were a trooper. So thank you for this. We can't thank you enough. I know about the spirit of cabinet, but you still have to want to give. And so we appreciate you for giving this morning. We also appreciate you for your auction item, right? So thank you so much. The many assessments, I mean, it helped me personally when you talked about mine, but it helped me hearing about others. So thank you for that. I can't thank you enough. And before we leave, I want to remind you about Winter Conference. That was my task. Elena, you were going to send me the dates, but reminder about Winter Conference is coming up. It's virtual, or is it a hybrid?
Oh, I sent them. It's February 2nd starts the virtual. You've got names like Anton Gunn, Barry Banther, Alana Hill, a few people as part of that virtual lead up. And then you've got the live days that right now we're scheduled to be in Atlanta. Of course, NSA is proceeding with an ounce of caution, just as the rest of the world is. And that might end up being virtual. Right now, it's a face-to-face in Atlanta. So you can buy 2 tickets, like a virtual ticket and a in person, and they're limiting it already to like only 100 people. So if you wanted to go be part of that live studio audience, as they're calling it, those are available on nsaspeaker.org, and that is February 26th through 28th. So that weekend is the winter workshop itself, and then there's those virtuals leading up to it. Very much like what happened with Influence last year, but with a shorter, more compressed time schedule. schedule. So looking forward to one of the theme of the conference is all of the different ways that we as speakers make business, make money, and those different multiple streams of revenue, consulting, training, the ways that we diversify our speaking businesses. And then I think you had some other closing announcements, Kim.
Yeah, thank you for that. So our next NSA Houston professional workshop is February the 20th. If you'll mark your calendars for that. We have Nate Woodbury coming in. We're going to be talking about YouTube and generating business from YouTube. So tell a friend, join us. And the other thing we want to say before we close out today, we want to engage you. We want you to be a part of what we're doing. And so if you are visiting with us, let us know the kinds of information, the kind of programs that would be interesting to you. And we just encourage you to come back as we continue to build community. We know that there are people, and you can be anywhere, right? Because we're virtual. So we want to grow our community, not just for numbers' sake, but for engagement and relationship sake. So we just ask you to help us build and grow. We're asking you to be a part of our community. Join NSA Houston. We hope that we're bringing you some really good programs. And the more of us that engage, we can learn from each other like we saw today. I mean, Jennifer illustrated it masterfully. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if there's nothing else, we only went 7 minutes over. I'm super big on time. That's the TV producer person in me. And so thank you guys for sticking around. If some of you want to sit around and chat, we'll keep it open, but I want to honor your time because you may have things to get out and do today. Wear your mask, be safe. We appreciate you. If you're not a member, join NSA, and we hope to see you guys soon somewhere online. Thank you, Jennifer. You got up early. You are a rock star. I think I got to everybody's questions. So yes, thank you guys. You got to go. Feel free to jump off if you want to hang around and visit. We'll do that for a few minutes, but we are officially adjourned.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, board, for pulling off another amazing professional development workshop. Thank you, guys, serving our members. I'd love to stick around and chat because y'all know this is like one of my favorite parts. Learning is, but I'm gonna have to drop off in a minute. So good to see all y'all. Charlotte, I was wishing we had a chance to chat. I'll catch up with you soon.
I'll see y'all later. I have another speaking engagement.
Oh, that's right. Yes, way to transport yourself across the country, right?
I'm going to Florida next.
Yeah. Have fun in Florida.
Bye, everybody.
See you around, Jennifer. Thank you.